What's up, guys, and welcome to Terminus Battle Factory Power Rankings. I am joined today with Gumby,
Hello guys, what's up? Gumby here.
and I am Excellent Name, your host for the Power Rankings. We are doing post-draft Power Rankings today, and without further ado, let's just jump right into it, shall we?
Shall
At
we?
number 12, we've got fucking Reno Raikou over here with this randomized draft. Not a lot to say here. Very bad, just not good at all. I don't blame him. It was randomized after all, but none of it makes sense to me.
I just love that we weren't even 20 seconds in and we already were swearing about whatever else. So.
It'll probably get dialed down a bit later.
No, it's totally fine. I don't mind.
Just a rough start looking at a Mega Ordino.
Round 2.
That's not what you want to draft.
Yeah, and I don't want to say anything about if you rigged his randomized draft, but people were memeing about Mega Ordino, and then he actually got it out of his 3 randomized Pokemon. But I'm not saying that he rigged it, so you know.
I think if he rigged it, it would have been better. That's my thoughts on it. But let's jump into where the real drafts happen, where the people actually put some thought into what they were drafting.
Yeah.
And as you can see, the drafts pick up a lot from this point on. At number 11, I have Parksy and the Armag Amaldos. So right off the bat, you're going to see a Kyurem Black and a Hoopa Unbound and think, how is this not a broken draft? And I can completely understand that. It's definitely got a lot of power. It's going to be very difficult to beat this team defensively. And he also has webs with Gumby. But my main issue with this draft is how ridiculously slow it is. He's basically forced to bring webs almost every single week.
Yep.
And that means that you can pretty easily prep around it. You can bring your spin, you can bring your horn or whatever. And if webs aren't up, it's going to be very hard for him to find opportunities to get a hit off. Sure, his Pokemon are bulky, but if they're going second every single time, then it's just not going to be a good look for him.
Yeah, I think.
And he also has kind of stall core in Skarbliss Quagsire, which I don't like with such an offensive team. Personally, it just saps away momentum, which does not help his case, in my opinion.
Yeah, and his fastest one probably is Swoobat, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Which is Swoobat isn't that slow necessarily, but it's just weird that your fastest Pokemon is a tier 5 Pokemon.
Swoobat and Ribombee are his only Pokemon that are going to be threatening fast Pokemon, other than Scarf users.
Yeah.
So he's going to be relying on Choice Scarf and Webs pretty much throughout the entire season, and that's going to be very exploitable. So even though it does look very solid, he's got a lot of really strong cores, I still think it's just too exploitable of a draft to be put any higher. So that's why I've got him at number 11.
Isn't Rapidash relatively slow as well? Is it like
no, I think that one's base 100. But
oh yeah, it's 105. It's 105.
Yeah, but once again, those aren't his big threats.
Yeah,
his
I know.
Threats, obviously.
Yeah. Totally agree.
The Kyurem Black Nidoking and stuff. So if he's forced to bring tier 5s just to threaten any kind of speed, then that's also not a good look.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I put the San Francisco Spoinkers, coached by Spoink, in the 11th place, and the main problem is that all the drafts pretty much are so good, except for the Reno Raikus, but we don't talk about them. so pretty much every draft is super good. It's really hard to pick a good last place-ish after this draft, just because people were actually pretty good at drafting. I'm not used to people drafting that good.
Yeah.
And my issue with the Spoinkers team is that his cores lack a bit. He doesn't have a dragon at all on his team, and even though dragons aren't as good as they were in Gen 5 before the fairies were introduced, I still think that that dragons are pretty essential Pokemon which you should have on your team. And basically, just because he doesn't have one, I'm ranking them pretty low. And also, he shares some common weaknesses, like Ice on his team. And even though he has Rotom Wash and Scizor and Lapras, I guess, to catch those, it's still Ice is such a common attacking move type that his main threats, which are Tapu Bulu, Landorus, Therian, and the Terrakion, are Actually, is Tarakan weak to ice? Because
No,
fighting,
Tarakan's ice weak, but
yeah,
not super bulky, so I guess it's not taking the ice hits super well.
yeah, and it's, it's just like, it's like critics on a very high level that like he doesn't have a dragon or whatever. But as I said, like the drafts are just so good that I didn't know who else to put in 11th place. So I'm sorry, Spoink.
Yeah, it's hard to put holes in the drafts at this point, other than obviously Cohunks' dog shit. Anyway, coming in next, we've got Jingus, the commissioner of this league. We've both got him. So he's got Mega Kangaskhan, which is in his mind broken, but it does not have Seismic Toss. I think it does get Power Up Punch.
Yeah, it does. I think the rule was only no Seismic Toss because they would have been that actually would have been broken.
Yeah, but Mega Kangaskhan is severely overrated in my opinion, and I think that kind of holds this draft back because it's banking fairly hard on the Mega Kangaskhan. I think it's a lot of his offense. It's the Mega Kangaskhan and also I guess the Victini that are making up his big offense. So relying on stuff that's going to get chipped down super hard by like rocks and by Rocky Helmet is not really super good look in my opinion. But what he does have going for him is that everything is so ridiculously bulky. He doesn't have a single frail Pokemon on his team, so he can really take the hits that he needs to take.
Yeah.
And kind of like play the game that way. Win with some stall. He's also got the nice webs. He's got some toxic spikes and stuff, so he can definitely stall down and take advantage of his like bulk. But just that his main offense does get kind of taken advantage of, kind of prepped around fairly easily, and is pretty overrated in my opinion. And also doesn't synergize as well as some of the other offenses. It definitely does have the synergy in Victini beating the steals, but he doesn't have much to beat the waters for Victini, so it's just like not as good synergy as some of the higher ranked drafts, which is saying a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, like that was my main problem with this team as well, the synergy between his mons. Like I mostly for the post draft was looking at the Fairy Dragon Steel and Firewater Grass course, or Dragon Fairy Steel, whatever you want to say. And like he's lacking a Steel mon, and I'm just saying, it's not like Steel is pretty essential in my opinion, because
I think Steel or Ground are the best two types.
Exactly, and like he just doesn't have one to take all the hits he maybe needs to take for I don't know whom, but it's just weird to not have the Steel type on a team in my opinion, and
I definitely agree.
Like, and I agree, like his offense is maybe a bit lacking, but like the main drawback is having no Steel type. It's just so weird. I'm sorry. Actually, I don't have to be sorry. I can shit talk you, so you suck.
Yeah, I'm sure they can take it. They're YouTubers. They got to deal with nasty comments all the time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But coming in at number 9, I've got Rest Bromwich Altaria, which is coached by Mike.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of this team aesthetically, but I got to admit that it is quite solid, just defensively. Mega Aggron Florges is a disgusting core to have to deal with. Mew, Mandibuzz, more disgusting stuff to have to deal with. The thing that I really like about this team is that it allows Mew to be run offensively.
Yeah,
a lot of teams
definitely.
that draft Mew kind of just have it as a defensive crutch, and they don't really have the option of bringing offense just because they need it to be run defensively every single time. But on the flip side, because his offense is somewhat lacking, it's got like Anti-Immense and like Galvantula, I guess, for his offense. He's now kind of forced to bring offensive Mew more often than not, so it's like kind of the flip side. But his semi-stall game is good enough that he can run Mew on the defense and just bring semi-stall if he wants to, so it's not as big of an issue. But yeah, I guess I kind of just put it down here because I didn't like the look of it mostly. They're just all such good teams, like we've said a million times before. So not a lot to fault on it. Just kind of like a bit passive and not like taking advantage of stuff like Entei very well necessarily. But yeah, just minor gripes really.
Yeah. me on the other side put the Amar Gamaldos on number 9, and we already talked about them a little bit, so I don't have to say too much about them, I guess. But I put them a bit higher than you did, just because I really love his hyper offense. Basically, like, well, like, not his whole team is not hyper offense. We talked about that, but like, basically, Kurum Black and Hooper Yu are going to be so hard to deal with, even more so because both of them are allowed to use Z moves. His Kurum Black is super Z user, so can do like stuff like Z Hail and just make the slowness not really an issue, I guess. Like if he gets that up, that is. And you know, Hooper Yu just hits super hard without Z, and then even with a Z move, it's like, oh, you have a wall there? Yeah, I don't think so. So yeah, you know, I just really like hyper offense, and that's why I didn't put him so low.
Yeah, my other issue with it is I'm not a fan of blending hyper offense and stall together.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Not my personal preference, but I will say his matchup versus you looks really solid, and I'll get into that when I talk about your team. But yeah, wait, that's no, it's not.
No, we're on 8 now.
Paris, yeah, number 8, Paris Porygons. What's their team again? Right, yeah, they've got quite an interesting team, I believe it was said. I really like their defensive core of Garchomp, Ferrothorn, Slowking in particular, and Incineroar as well. On top of that, it's not quite as good with Z moves and no reliable recovery on Garchomp and Ferrothorn, particularly as he doesn't really have a Wish Pass outside of Granbull. His Weak Fairy definitely holds him back a bit. But just the damage output and the pressure that he can put on even with his defensive core is quite solid in my opinion. Garchomp's going to be threatening, Ferrothorn's threatening even with just Leech Seed and Spikes. Slowking can set up those future sites a lot, and he's just got some solid pivots to bring in his nice threats, Mega Alakazam, Gengar. The big issue is that he has a really hard time with Dark types in particular. That's kind of a side effect that you're going to have when you have a pretty shitty fairy in Granbull. Duck types really screw with him offensively. He's only really got the Incineroar to deal with that. And just defensively, he's going to be really prone to Pursuit Trap when you've got both a Mega Alakazam and a Gengar on the team.
Yeah, but and he's Slowking as well. Not Slowking. Yeah, no, it's not Slowking, it's the other one.
No, it is Slowking.
Oh, well, never mind then.
Yeah. Slowking's going to be weaker to Pursuit because it's got the lower defense than Slowbro. But, you know, he doesn't have to play into the bad matchups of, like, Muckalola, Form, and Drapion so much. He's got other offensive options like Garchomp and Xurkitree and whatnot. So he's not really in too bad of a position from the Dark types. It just does really limit his options. So I did put him a bit lower. And I could probably have put him all the way up down to 11th if I wanted to. But I really do like his cores. So I just did put him higher, especially the Firewater Grass.
Yeah. Yeah. His Firewater Grass is awesome. I like it. I really like it. Anyways, I put the Aussie Kangaskhan's coached by yours truly, excellent name, in the 8th position. And I don't really know why, honestly. Like, I don't want to shit talk you because you're my host and you can...
No, bring it on. No. I've got shit talk for myself, don't worry. Go right ahead.
I don't know, like your team looks super threatening, like on first glance with the Mega Mawile, the zero aura, and like Hydreigon in tier 2, which I still don't know why Hydreigon was tier 2 in this league. But we'll let that slide for now, I guess. And then you know, like your offense with those 3 mods is just super threatening already. But I just feel like otherwise your team is lacking quite a bit in like whatever your other mons are supposed to do on your team, I guess. Like you have Frostlass, Pyroar, and then I don't know, like Unpheasant in there. And and even though I know that Unpheasant was a mean pick to me on Genghis, you didn't go through with it and didn't make him a Z-mon, so it's just a trash pick. I'm sorry.
Look, I've got so many good C users to pick from. I couldn't justify it. I do want to try to do something in this league, and there just wasn't really anything that would really make me not want to meme pick Unpheasant. There wasn't anything that I could see there that I wanted more than meming with Unpheasant, so I just went for it. So that's basically all I've got about
No,
that.
yeah, I see. And you know, like, well, I guess I don't have to justify myself putting you on 8, but you know, as I said,
I'll talk about my team when we reach it.
I guess, yeah, and all the teams are so good, yada yada yada. Let's move on to 7.
Yeah, where I get to return the favor and shit talk you a little bit.
Yay!
So you picked up Mega Latias. Like, that's the most insane thing that I saw in this league was that Mega Latias was legal. In my opinion, Mega Latias is really broken.
Yeah,
And then you got pretty much one of, if not the best answers to Mega Latias and Weavile.
yep,
It's basically the only thing that's really threatening it offensively while also outspeeding it, which is like really good to have off your back.
yep,
And then also you've got fucking nice Dog Trio to trap all the darks and fairies and steals that are going to be otherwise kind of checking Latias. So your entire team around Mega Latias is really good,
yeah,
but it kind of falls apart if Mega Latias isn't doing its job, which isn't an issue because Mega Latias is going to be doing its job no matter what. But you know,
I mean, you know me. I wouldn't bank on Melodius doing a job.
if for some reason Gumby plays badly, which I'm sure would never happen, but if he like backs Mega Latias or lets it get toxic or something, which is actually a real possibility because he doesn't have any cleric to help with that. That's going to be the big drawback for me that put him lower. Then he's going to be in a really bad situation. He then has to kind of rely on like his regen core and stuff like Heliolisk from Arena to threaten, but that's just not as good as what the other teams are offering.
Yeah,
So it's just, even though your defensive cores with the Megalati, Tangrove, Toxapex and Heatran is really good and Trapping's really good, yada yada, it just does really fall apart if Mega Latias isn't doing its job. And
which is carrying the team, which is pretty scary.
Yeah, which is why Parksy has such a good matchup versus you because he has Kieran Black and Hooper Unbound, the other two Pokemon that really threaten it. So
yeah,
that's going to be worrying when your entire game plan hinges on Mega Latias doing its job. So that's why I put you at 7th, I guess. Still very solid. Mega Latias, very good. But yeah, we'll see.
No, but yeah, I agree for most of the other things. I'll talk a bit more about it when we reach me on my thing. But I put the Paris Polygons by Coach by Baron on number 7. And again, we already talked about them quite a bit, so I guess I don't have to say too much. The reason I put them above you and all the others behind him is that I really like his offensive cores. Or, well, I guess like his offensive ones basically being the Mega Alakazam, Garchomp, Gengar, and the Circuitry. And like, I just think that people will have problems with taking hits off his team. Like, if he has like Scarf, Circuitry, and I don't know, you know, like he's just outspeeding you and then like doing 75% to your mons, and you're just standing there like, okay, what do I do next? And I don't know. I just really like his offensive mons. And yeah, he has like some lacks in his cores, being the Granbull as a fairy type, which is like, But, you know.
At least he does have part of the Dragon Fairy Steel core that some of the teams below did not have.
Exactly, yeah. He has both cores completed. Like, he has Garchomp, Stupid Spiky Thing, and Granbull. Ferrothorn.
I love the name.
Stupid. I mean, it is a stupid spiky thing. So
Ferrothorn's super good, honestly. Big fan of Ferrothorn. Just a bit lacking in League with the 4 times weakness to hidden power fire. It's a bit easier to prep for, but he does have ways of dealing with hidden power fire pretty comfortably. So
yeah, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, you know, that's basically all I have to say about him.
All right, so jumping into number 6, where we put ourselves, just the perfect middle point, being humble.
I know, right? Also, your name is long. Let me do that a little bit shorter there.
Whoops. But
whoops.
Professional. But yeah, we didn't want to be too humble, but we wanted to be a little bit humble. But yeah, I'll just talk about my team. Well, obviously you're going to see Mega Morwell, Hydreigon really going to be the big members of the team. Hydreigon's dealing like with pretty much everything. It's super strong breaker. And the only things it's going to struggle with is the fairy types, which, Mega Morwell and
Hello.
Nidoqueen as well. Kind of like the two best fairy killers in the game, arguably. So then I've got really strong pivots with Zorora and Mean Shao and Celebi as well. The big lack here is going to be my defenses, which isn't too big of an issue because obviously I'm a very hyper-offensive style of draft, and also my lack of hazard removal. I'm relying on Hydreigon and Empoleon and Unpheasant, I guess.
I was about to say, Unpheasant gets defogged, doesn't it?
Basically just Empoleon for defog means that Empoleon's very good at defogging though, so it's not like I'm going to be too worried. It's just that I would need to bring defog to get rid of hazards. But that's not as big of an issue as it might seem because I've got a lot of fast taunters to stop hazards from going up in the first place, and I put on so much offensive pressure to get up hazards is actually going to be a really big momentum loss and could result in a dead Pokemon quite easily versus this team just because of how scary Mega Morwell and Hydreigon are.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did put myself pretty high, but teams above just slightly get the edge here.
Yeah, no, I agree. And same with me, I put myself into 6th position because I was like, you gotta be a bit humble. You can't put yourself on 1, and but you also don't want to put yourself on 9 or whatever. But honestly, I'm not sure if I like my draft too much or if I just did it because I don't want to be like, oh yeah, my draft sucks. I put myself on 12 or whatever. But initially I wanted to draft Mega Latias, which is still a 1. I got it at 6th picking spot.
Which was crazy to me. But...
Yeah. Where's that? It's basically a 1. I got it there. And, actually I wanted to draft a Sand team around Mega Latias as well afterwards, but unfortunately Excadrill was sniped in round 1.
By the randomized draft.
Yeah.
Whole thing.
It's a bit... it's a bit shit.
Yeah.
That I got sniped by fucking Rena Raikes, but, what you gonna do? And then afterwards, I didn't know what to do, and then I just drafted Weavile because, the base counted to Mega Latias, as Ian already said. And from there was do I go just with more hyper-offensive and probably lose to some teams with, a decent stall core, or do I just go the stall way myself, even though I hate playing stall because it's so boring basically. But yeah, I actually went with the stall.
We see how you go. We see what your true intentions are. Don't worry.
And yeah, I picked the stall core afterwards with Tangrowth and Toxapex. Basically because I always think that stall cores are very easy to play. So, you don't really need too much skill to play stall cores. It's just I'm at half HP, okay, I'll switch out, and through Regenerator I get my, back to full HP, so that's cool. And, I've been taking a break from Pokemon for, the last 4 months, and I was to get back into it, just draft stall, and have some more or less fun with it, I guess. So
that's the spirit.
and you don't get destroyed too hard because you just have stall core and you can win the games off of that. You just toxic people and then just wait it out. So yeah, that was basically my thinking. And but I do agree with you what you said earlier that that my team pretty much falls apart after Mega Latias is dead. My other offensive choices are not too good. For example, I wanted to have Jolteon instead of Heliolisk, but that also got sniped the round prior, and I don't know. It's just I'm not 100% okay with my draft. I think I could have done better. But yeah, it is what it is now, and I still think that I'm going to be able to get some easy victories with the stall. So that's cool.
All right, so now let's jump into number 5 picks. I have the San Francisco Spoinkers, which you put at 11th, so a pretty big difference there. And while they don't have a dragon type, I don't see that as the big issue that holds them back or anything. the big thing for me about this draft that Gumby didn't talk about is pretty much everything on his team is walled by a steel type. He's got Landorus T and he's got Terrakion to deal with steals, but, Lando T and Terrakion both aren't really dealing with Skarmory if they burn their Z moves too easily.
Uh-huh.
Lando T is really dealing with like Ferrothorn or Scizor too easily, and like basically they rely on having their super effective coverage to work or their Z crystals being burnt, being up. I'm sorry. And the other thing is that his Landorus T and Terrakion both being Z users feels a little bit redundant to me. Offensive Z for both of them is pretty much accomplishing the same thing. They're both using their Zs on the same type of Pokemon to sweep the same kind of conditions. So I probably would have given one of the Zs to Bulu personally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But what I do really like about this team is just how fantastic their pivots are. Maybe it's just nostalgia, but Mega Sizzle, Lando T, Rotom Wash, it's just so nice. And then he's got really nice threats to back it up. He's got Swellow, which is another really strong Pokemon if you don't have the right answers to it.
Yeah.
And Bulu Reuniclus is a really underrated, really strong core. The Grassy Seed with Reuniclus is a super good Calm Minesweeper. And even though everything is kind of beaten by steals, I think all the matchups being decided by how well you can play the steel is going to be really rough. Sorry, a bit of a hoarse throat there. But his team can like really weaken the steel type really easily, and then if the steel type's dead, then there's nothing stopping the other 4 Pokemon on this team. So it's going to be like really rough, just because of how much damage is being packed onto one Pokemon. So I did rate them pretty highly just for that.
All we know is that he will have an awesome time against the Colorado Agrons because they don't have a steel type. So
yes.
I put the West Bromwich Altarias at number 5, and again we talked a bit about them, so I can shorten it out a bit. And I just really like his course. Like as I said, I mostly rated this about course. This is my pick or my draft order, like my power ranking order, whatever. And his Dragon Fairy Steel core with Salamence, Florges, and Mega Aggron is just so disgusting. Like, there's no other word. Like, we even have one more disgusting Fairy Dragon Steel core, which is going to come up afterwards. But like, this is like, oh shit, dude. And then like his Fire Water Grass core is a bit lacking. Then again, I mean, only his Grassmon is pretty much lacking because it's a Leafeon, and I mean, it has like 130 def, I think, or 120 or whatever.
Leafeon is not a real Pokemon.
Huh?
Leafeon is basically not a real Pokemon. It's probably not coming to many games, if any.
Yeah, like that's the problem. Like his team doesn't really need Leafeon on it, to be able to work. Like if he just brings Aggron, Salamence, Florges, Mew, Entei, and then I don't know, the Galvantula or the Blastoise every week, like he's going to have a good time. So
yeah.
I really don't think that the Leafeon is such a big issue, that it's rather weak. So I really don't see big problem with this team, though. I put him on 5. Let's move on.
Yeah, so at number 4, this is like pretty much all of the top 4 was a tie, even though, like I said before, all of them are pretty close anyway.
Yeah.
This 4 is like pretty much the spot on tie. Levity, he's got a Coco Lucha team going for him, and he also has the Mega Pinsir to get some nice fly spam in. And the really good thing about Mega Pinsir Lucha is just like you can't wall both Pinsir and Hawlucha very easily. Rocks are up, you bring in your Mega Pinsir, you return the Zapdos, then like maybe the Zapdos kills your Mega Pinsir, but then you bring in the Coco, Volt Switch out into your Hawlucha and win the game. The Zapdos can't take your Hawlucha on anymore.
Yeah.
And if it stays in, it dies to the Coco. It's just ridiculous to have to deal with. So it's very difficult to check both of those defensively, and because Hawlucha is arguably the best Pokemon against offense, that's also going to be an issue for you. You've got to find a way to check Hawlucha without having that be weakened by Mega Pinsir first, and you also don't want to get swept by Quick Attack spam.
Yeah.
Especially when he's got a Cell Rock with Lycanroc Dusk in the back as well.
Exactly.
The issue that I see with the team that dropped it just below the other ones is that he's got like a pretty weak Fairy Dragon Steel. His Steel is Klefki and his Dragon is Druddigon, which both are pretty good Pokemon still, so I'm not going to fault him too hard for that.
Mm-hmm.
And but like what I do like is that he's got really top-heavy offense, but his rest of the team is like really good budget defense. The Seismitoad, the Gorgeist, the Miltank, the Druddigon, all really good budget picks, and then Arcanine and Storm, you can kind of supplement both offensive and defensive. So it's just like a really well-rounded draft with super scary offensive core.
Yeah, I agree. I'll talk about a bit more of them when I talk about them in like the next slide. But coming to the New England Pet Rats first, coached by Gengar Raichu, and I'll just say like his Dragon Fairy Steel Core is better than the one of the West Bromwich Altarvis, but still not the best. And which is super scary, you know. But his Dragon Fairy Steel Core is Latios, Tapu Fini, and Scizor, and I'm just sitting over here being like, yeah, okay, I can basically FF before the first turn, being like, yeah, okay, yeah, you pretty much can, yeah, okay, And then on top of that, he also has a Mega Lopunny, and also the Alolan Ninetales and Sandslash. So I really don't know what to do against this team, honestly. Like, maybe he just messes it up in his matches every day. I don't know, but like this draft is just so good, and it's still only top 4, which makes it even harder to say like stuff about the top 3. Which is, oh boy, I mean, he has some weird Pokemon on there, like Bibarel and Licky Licky, I guess, and you know, but
Bibarel's really good, dude. Trust me. I'll talk about it when I get to him. But
I mean,
yeah, go on.
Does he have the Belly Drum on it? Let me look.
No.
See, so
he uses a Latios and a Alolan Ninetales, which is another issue in itself. Which, once again, I'll talk about later.
Yeah. But you know. No Z Belly Drum, no party, I always say, so. But yeah, come into the top 3. Talk about the New England Pet Rats.
This is where I put Gengar Raichu, and like you said, phenomenal Fairy Dragon Steel Core. One of, but not quite the best, still, somehow, like you said. So what I really like is his Mega Lopunny and Scizor. He's got his physical offense pretty stacked up, but Tapu Fini is, in my opinion, probably the best Pokemon to pair with like a physically offensively biased draft, because it comes in, it stops the burns really easily. It's also really solid with Scizor, taking all the fire moves for it. And also most of the prime physical walls lose hard to Fini, or they at the very least get Nature's Madness for 50% of their health, and then they're probably in range for the Lopunny. So that doesn't really matter. Also, Aurora Veil, along with the Alolan Sandslash, if he wants to bring that, is really solid to help him get some setup going. The issues that I have, he has 3 normal types. I'm not sure how many times he'll be bringing Bibarel, even though Swords Dance plus Aqua Jet is super solid with that Pokemon. He doesn't really need to bring that. And I'm also not a huge fan of the Umbreon on this team. I know that it's quite nice to give wish support to Fini, but I don't like that it loses him so much momentum. His team is really good at keeping up momentum until he goes into Umbreon, and then he just loses it all. And those are my main issues with the team. But other than that, very solid, quite offensively scary.
Quite, he says.
Yeah, you know, there's ways to deal with it, even though Mega Lopunny is probably the second best Pokemon up against offense.
Yeah.
Against defense, I can see ways around it, especially if you've got ways to deal with the Fini in particular.
Yeah.
That's kind of all you need, an answer to Fini and an answer to the Mega Lopsis or Core.
Well, luckily you do have Nidoqueen, and then I'm just here like...
Well, I'm not swapping that into Fini.
Why not, though? What could go wrong if he hits with a Surf? Like, I don't see the problem.
I could probably take one, but it's still probably not the best course of action regardless.
Yeah. Anyways, coming to the number 3 spot. It's the Sao Paulo FC, coached by TFMC. And what I like really much about his team is his Fire Water Grass core, which is Mega Charizard X, Manaphy, and then Superior.
So, or Tentacruel if you prefer for the Manaphy. So yeah, very
I mean, I wouldn't. Well, I guess, but I guess. And then his Fairy Dragon Steel is a bit lacking, I guess. But you know, it's Charizard X and Metagross, so 2 good ones. And then the Comfy for Ferrymon. And like Comfy isn't the worst, but it's also definitely not the best. So I don't know what to think about it. But yeah, just like I'm a lover of hyper offensive, and like his team just screams hyper offensive to me, and I just love it. You know, also having the Neuven on there, and then good defensive answers in the Donphan and Zapdos, and I guess even the Metagross and Tentacruel. So I just really like his draft, and I would probably swap drafts if he wanted to, but he doesn't, so whatever.
Have you asked?
No, I haven't.
Maybe try asking before you speak to him, but yeah.
I mean, I probably wouldn't do it either way, you know. But just let me talk shit, okay?
All right, sure. My bad. But yeah, like you're saying, super scary. Mega Charizard X Manaphy Superior, just setup on setup on setup. It's gonna struggle a little bit with offense itself. In a sense, it's very strong against stall. Like Gumby's team isn't gonna have the best time against it necessarily, but it does kind of struggle a little bit with the offense, comparatively speaking at least. He does have the Donphan Zapdos core, which is really solid. He's got good rockers. He's got really good setup Pokemon. He's got spiked and toxic spikes on the team. The big interesting decision that I saw on the draft was drafting Comfy and Neuven. I really like Neuven, but at tier 3 he probably could have gotten a better fairy and replaced Comfy with a kind of lower tier special fast special Pokemon, something like maybe a Mismagius or something.
Yeah.
Neuven just is kind of redundant on his team when he already has the Charizard X and other fast Pokemon like a Selgor, so I didn't think he really needed Neuven.
Yeah, fair enough.
It just means that his Pro Dragon Steel is a bit weaker, which did keep him out of the number 1 spot, but still a very solid draft.
Definitely, yeah, and you know, just like we'll come to the number 1 spot after I talk about the Toronto Weavils, and like that draft is just, I don't know, dude. It's something else, you know. It's really something else.
Yeah.
Anyways, I put the Toronto Weavils, coached by Levy, in the 2nd spot, and as I said probably 6 times already, I'm just the biggest fan of hyper offense, and like his team, dude. Oh, I may or may not have needed new pants after I saw its complete draft.
Chill, man, chill.
You know, just Mega Pinsir, Tapu Koko, Hawlucha, and then the Lycanroc Dusk in it. Dude, oh man. Oh, yeah. I may or may not need new pants again.
Dude, you've lost all of our audience. They've all left.
I mean, we are 38 minutes in. They probably left 20 minutes ago.
Oh, true, fair enough.
but oh man, dude, I just really love his team. I really love his team. But it's still not the best team because the Portland Zydogs, coached by the one and only Online Orphan, with the draft of every trainer's dream, pretty much. His Fairy Dragon Steel type core is.
Let's just read off this entire team.
Okay.
Because it's all beautiful. Mega Latios,
Celesteela. Oh yeah. Okay.
Sylveon. Just wow already.
That Fairy Dragon Steel core, yeah. Nothing gets better than that.
Yep. Just. Oh, were you hoping to chip down Celesteela? Yeah. No, don't do that. then you've got Serena, Jellicent, Infernape. Nice Fire Water Grass core right there as well. Just nice.
Just
then you
nice.
add in a Crocodile. And what else do you need at that point? This is the issue that I have at the point. he has Rhydon, Electrode, Kecleon, Garbodor, and Magneton. Those aren't, like, this is the most minor of nitpicks, honestly, but those just aren't quite as up to scratch as the rest of his drafts combination. That's the only nitpick. Well, the other nitpick that I do have, that's just brief, is he's forced to run rocks on either Crocodile or Infernape, or he's forced to bring Rhydon or Kecleon. So Infernape never wants to run rocks, and you rarely, if ever, are going to want to run Rhydon or Kecleon. So he's basically kind of bullied into running defensive Crocodile more often than he realistically should be, because offensive is going to be really nice for his team. But yeah, it's just the most minor of nitpicks. His team is so nice, and I'm happy that I have the Zerara. I'm hoping that can kind of deal with Celesteela, because if not, then I'm fucked. It might not be able to deal with the Celesteela, honestly. It's kind of weak. But yeah, if you don't have something really strong for Celesteela, you're in for some pain against this draft.
I mean, I have Heliolisk for the Celesteela, so that's definitely not better. Then again, I have a Super Z Heatran, so, you know, I guess I can Inferno Overdrive in his face, but it's not like he could just switch into his Jellicent and be like, what?
Or Mega Latios for that matter. It's a really well-rounded draft. He has options to bring everything bar webs and like Aurora Veil, I guess he can't bring. He's got dual screens though, so it doesn't matter. He's even got trapping in Magneton. He doesn't really need trapping.
No,
but I guess it is nice for the Mega Latios. That just helps the Mega Latios a little bit, because why not? Honestly, just why not give more options to your team? And he just has pretty much all of them.
Yep. Like, my only issue with his team more or less is that, like, beside his Firewater Grass and Fairy Dragon Steel Core, like, his mons are pretty much the same type. Like, he has Crocodile and Rhydon, which are the same, like, partially at least. And then he has Electrode and the Magneton, which are the same, basically. And it's just, you know, I think he could have drafted better mons, like secondary mons. But then again, he most likely won't need those mons anyways in his games, because he's just going to bring a Mega Latios, Celesteela, and Sylveon every game. And then, like, Infernape definitely, probably. So you have 4 set mons there. And then, you know.
Then Crocodile, Jellicent if he wants bulk, Serena if he wants removal, or Garbodor if he wants Spike Stack. That's basically, like you're saying, Electrode and Rhydon are superfluous picks. I definitely would have drafted something else over them, but they're tier 4 and tier 5 picks, so like, who cares? It's not gonna be like you're gonna find much better in tier 4 and 5 that you're gonna bring more often. As it is, like, I can see a reason for him to bring every single other Pokemon, but I can almost never see a reason to bring Electrode or Rhydon. Electrode only if you want to deal with like something really fast that for some reason your defensive core doesn't check, which it does. And Rhydon, I guess if you are scared of Charizard X, is the only thing I can see Rhydon coming for is Charizard X.
But even then, he has a Crocodile with Intimidate, and he's like, yeah, okay, bite Charizard X.
So he doesn't need Rhydon, but it could be better.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. But like, overall...
yeah, it's like, those are the only niches I can see for those two Pokemon.
Yeah. But yeah. His draft overall is just so good. Like, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Like, fuck me. Fuck dude. Fuck. He's having fun. He's going to have fun, definitely.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think that's everything. That's all of the teams, at least. I don't think there was anything else we needed to cover, was there?
No, I don't think so as well. I mean, we are 44 minutes in, so, you know.
Yeah, we planned to go for about 20 minutes, and that didn't work out, so sorry. But you guys can watch it at 2 times speed, and it will be around the 20-minute mark, so that is always an option to you guys. In fact, we'll probably put that in description. So yeah.
Shitty life hacks
anyway,
right
guys,
there.
Yeah. I promise you the week-by-week power rankings will be shorter because there was a lot less to talk about in those.
Yeah.
So yeah, those will probably be around the 20-minute mark, maybe 15 minutes. So
probably not. We know ourselves. There'll be 30 minutes as well. Just because.
I'm trying to be a little bit more optimistic on those ones. But yeah. So yeah, make sure to stay tuned to the YouTube channel and check out all of the channels for these people. I'm not sure if we're putting them in the description, but they will be in the channel header.
Yeah.
So yeah, just check everyone out, drop some subs, drop some likes, and tune in every week for the power rankings. So yeah, see you guys next time.
Best series obviously on this channel, so you know that's the one you gotta watch. Like, you know, you got Ian, you got me, you got the bands, so really you don't want to miss this. That's all I'm saying, right? So but yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Thanks for Ian for hosting this, and I'll see you guys next week for the week 1 power rankings. Until then, bye.